I always believed my grandmother, Evelyn Marlowe, was just a quiet old woman living out her final years in a creaking house nestled at the edge of Barrow Pines, a town people only remembered when something strange happened. She had silver hair, always tied in a loose bun, wore shawls even in summer, and smelled of lavender and mothballs. When I was 16, after my parents died in a crash, I moved into her decaying Victorian home. She said little about my parents, even less about herself, and absolutely nothing about the basement. There were rules in Grandma's house. No going out after dark, no guests, never enter the basement. Most importantly, never touch the drawer in her room, the one with the black ribbon tied across its handles. It was more of a warning than a rule, and she said it with such icy seriousness that I never questioned it, not at first. The forest around the house was dense and unfriendly. Trees leant toward the windows as though listening. Animals never ventured near. Sometimes at night, I'd hear low murmurs or distant footsteps from the woods. Grandma told me to never look outside if I heard those sounds. She cooked dinner precisely at 6 p.m., humming old songs I never recognized. Her favorite was a lullaby I later found out didn't exist in any known language. Something about the way she hummed it made the air feel colder. One night, I woke to a low, rhythmic thumping. It sounded like someone pounding on a wall with their fists. 3 slow knocks in silence. I waited. Then it happened again. 3 slow knocks. They came from beneath the floor. The basement. The next morning, I asked her about it. Her face drained of all color. She didn't deny it. Instead, she stared at her plate and said, "That room is sealed. It must stay sealed." That day, I began to watch her more closely. She never left the house, never got mail. Her phone didn't ring. The only connection to the outside world seemed to be a monthly visit from a man in a black coat who handed her a sealed envelope without a word. I once tried to read it, but she burned it in the fireplace before I could even get close. Then came the storm. Lightning hammered the house all night. Wind howled like the cries of something lost. The power went out, and the house became a breathing shadow. I was heading to the kitchen with the flashlight when I saw her bedroom door wide open. Grandma never left her door open. The drawer with the black ribbon was ajar. My curiosity shouted all warnings. I stepped inside and opened it fully. Inside were scraps of brittle parchment covered in symbols that hurt to look at. Bones. Small ones. Human-shaped. A dried, blood-stained bonnet, and beneath it all, a photograph. Old, faded, nearly crumbling. A girl with black eyes wearing a dress that looked decades too old. Standing beside her, Grandma. But she looked no older than 20. The back of the photograph read, "Evelyn and Clara, 1911. That would make Grandma over 120 years old. That night, she didn't cook dinner. She didn't leave her room. I tried to confront her, photo in hand, but the door was locked. I could hear whispering inside, low, sharp whispers, and then crying. My flashlight flickered and died. I backed away. At 2:13 a.m., I woke to someone standing at the foot of my bed. Not Grandma. The girl from the photograph. She stared at me, her eyes bulbed as pits, her mouth stitched shut with wire. Her hands were raw, skinless, pulsing. I couldn't move. My body refused to listen. She leaned forward, and in my mind, I swear, directly in my thoughts, I heard, "Set me free." I passed out. When I woke up, it was morning, and she was gone. I demanded answers. Grandma finally spoke.
not with denial, but a confession. She and Clara were sisters. In 1911, Clara began hearing voices in the woods. Grandma thought it was a game until she vanished for 3 days. When she returned, she wasn't the same. She spoke in tongues, refused to eat, drew scenes that hurt your mind to look at. Then children in the village began to disappear. Animals were found mutilated in symmetrical patterns. People whispered a witchcraft. The townsfolk came for Clara with torches and chains. Grandma stopped them by swearing a blood pact. She sealed Clara in the basement with ancient rites taught by a withered man from the forest who asked only for silence and a lock of Evelyn's hair. The man vanished. The forest changed, and Grandma lived on. Every 20 years, the spell had to be renewed, and every time it demanded a life. My husband, my brother, your parents, she said softly. They were the price. I snapped. My world shattered. I stormed to the basement and I guessed her screams, unlike the door with the iron key I had stolen from around her neck days before. The door didn't creak. It groaned like something waking up. The air reeked of rat pulled metal. My flashlight barely cut through the gloom. Stone stairs filed into darkness. On the walls, words written in red, curled and twisted as if still alive. I reached the bottom. Chains covered the walls like spider webs. In the center, a well. And from the well, the sound of breathing. Help me, came the voice again. The child's voice, her trick. I should have left. I should have run. But I said, Clara? The chains rattled violently, then silence. A whisper rushed against my ear. She's gone. But you are blood. And then something crawled from the well. It wasn't Clara. Its body was twisted, stitched from memories and bone. Its face was a shifting canvas of every dead Marlowe. Its voice was a chorus of screams. I ran, but stairs had vanished. The walls closed in. I saw the forest through the cracks, black trees with eyes. I screamed till something pulled me out. I don't remember how. I woke up in bed, muddy, bleeding. Grandma tapped inside me crying, and she said, I warned you. Now it knows you. We didn't speak for days. She began drawing circles in ash on every door. The black ribbon drawer was burned. But at night, I saw the girl again, only now. Her mouth was open, and she was smiling. I tried to leave Barrel Mines. I made it 5 miles before I passed out, woke up at Grandma's doorstep. The town doesn't let us leave anymore. It's been 3 years. Grandma had to age. She speaks less and less. She says the forest wants me now, that it will take her soon. She begs me to run, even though she knows I can't. At night, I hear it speaking from beneath the floor. It says, I'm next. And worst of all, I'm starting to believe it. Because when I look in the mirror, I see Clara smiling back,